In today's video, we're going to break down the classic tune, The Green Hills of Tyrol. Tyrol, one of those things. Stay tuned. Well, hello everybody, I'm Matt Willis Bagpiper, and on this channel I make videos to make you a stronger and more confident piper. If you like this kind of content, please think about giving the video a like and commenting below with any thoughts you might have. I also give Skype and online lessons if you want more personalized instruction, but more on that later. Today we continue our classic breakdown series with the Green Hills of Tyrol, or Tyrol. I'm not sure how to say it. I'm pretty sure there's not a Tyrol region in the Alps, but Tyrol doesn't quite sound right either. At least that's not how I hear people saying it. I'm going to refer to it as Green Hills from here on out. This is probably the most popular and famous 3/4 played on the Highland pipes, and with good reason. It's a wonderful tune. I've been told it comes from the William Tell Overture, though I don't listen to a ton of classical music, I'll admit. But yeah, Rossini seems to have written this fine piece of music. As with all the tunes in this classic breakdown series, we're going to take this melody and we're going to spell it out, stretch it out by lengthening the notes. We're going to take a 3/4 tune and lengthen it, slow it down by 4 times, making a 3/4 tune now a 12/4 tune. Meaning the quarter notes are going to become whole notes 4 times as long, the 8th notes are going to become half notes, the 16th notes are going to become quarter notes, but more importantly, the sounding tones within our ornaments, the G's in a grip, the C in the middle of a C doubling, these are going to become actual 8th notes in the music that we can see and make sure that we're getting all the grace noting in and around them correct and in the proper spot on the beat. There's an old saying in music, if you can't play it slow, you can't play it at all. So whether you're a beginning player or a more advanced player just wanting to really clean up this classic, wonderful tune, I implore you, stick through this, go to the 12/4 time, and let's start breaking this down. In the description below, you can get the PDF you see here, which is line 1 of the Green Hills, spelled out in 12/4, 6/4, 3/4 spelled out, and then finally the full speed version. So put that on a tablet, print it out, have it in front of you so you can follow along. Let's not waste any more time and get straight on into the Green Hills. So the first several notes of the Green Hills is the classic cadence of G grace note to A, B grip to C, and if you needed help fixing your full speed one, there's a video right up there and in the description below to check out with the A, B grip to C, but we're going to spell it out right here so we can all do it. We're going to start with a G grace note on an A, and we're going to hold this for 2.5 beats before going up to a B, so just lifting the ring finger, down to a low G. This is starting our grip, the ornament itself, separating that G with the D grace note, and then heading up cleanly to the C, trying to make sure both these come up together to avoid that run. Let's stick this metronome on at 92 beats per minute and give this a try. And if 92 is too quick, by all means, slow down the metronome. We're not in any hurry. Clearly, we've slowed this down by 4 times. But this is about getting it good, clean, and accurate. The speed will come in time with cleanliness of fingerwork. Moving on now from that whole note C we see here, we're going into a spelled out C doubling. We can see the G grace note on an 8th note C, so it'll be half of a beat, and then a D grace note separating that C into its second component, the second part of the C doubling, the second C, which is going to be a beat and a half. And then we'll go down with an E grace note from C to low A. So we're going to want to raise the top ring, bottom pinky, boom, head down to that A. We'll be on that for 2 beats. So I'm going to start on that whole note C and do that doubling down. From there, we'll do a G grace note back up to C. So top pointer finger, bottom, middle, and ring up. Top pointer back down and pinky down to get to that C. And now we see a spelled out light D throw. In this classic series, all the D throws we use at the slower speed, I choose to write out as light D throws. They're easier to play slowly, and I think it's a great ornament to have ready to go at any point. It's easier to control than the heavy D throw. Though if you want to learn more about the heavy D throw, there's a link down there or on the card right there. But for now, we're going to do this light D throw, which from C is going to be going down to a low G, lifting up to a D, down to a C, and back up to a D. In this case, we'll be going to the low G on the upbeat of beat 2, to the D on the start of beat 3. The second half of beat 3, we're going to be going down to a C, and then starting beat 4, back up to that D. And again. From here, we're heading up to an E doubling. So from D, we're going to do the big ol' switch from D, G grace note to E. This involves the lifting of a ton of fingers. We're going to lift the top pointer, top ring, and bottom pinky, before then lowering the top pointer again and the 3 pointer, middle, and ring to get to the E. We'll stay on that for half of a beat, and then an F grace note, the middle finger right there for the F grace note to separate that E into 2. Then we'll tap that ring finger down to a low A to get to another E. So we're actually doing 3 E's in a row. One that's half a beat long, one that's 3.5 beats long, and then one that's 2 beats long. Let's start on that C before the D throw and get all the way through these E's. From here, we'll head up to an F, just lifting that middle finger, heading down to another C doubling, so F down to C doubling. Again, this is quite a few fingers. The top pointer and bottom, middle, and ring will come off, these two, because they're not down for C. Top up for the G grace note, lowering all 3 on the top and the pinky for C. So again, F, G grace note to C, then a D grace note to separate it into the C doubling that this will become at full speeds, and then heading back up to another F. So I'll start on the F before the C doubling. Give it a go. Then from this F down to an E doubling, that's going to be G grace note up, both down smartly together. Make sure the middle finger doesn't race down. We want both to hit at the same time. Then another F grace note to separate that out before heading down again to a C, making sure we avoid that cross that's possible. Get these fingers from the bottom, the middle, and ring out of the way before lowering the other 2 to the C. And then a G grace note to B. Pinky up, pointer up, boom, down to a B. Let's again start on that F at the end of line 1, going to the B we just spoke of. Now we have another grip, though this one's from a B to a B rather than a B up to a C. So again, from B, we're going to drop down to low G, both down, separate with a D grace note, and then back up to a B. If you find you have a little run on the way up, really think about this ring finger almost moving by itself and the pinky coming up later. You could even practice just exploding that ring finger up a few times to build the dexterity in that. Let's do that B, grip to B. B, G, G, B. Make sure you keep all these ornaments spelled out, played in the timing shown here. It's really going to help make them clean and, well, perfect moving forward and speeding them up. All right, just a few more notes here to finish out the first line of this tune. And I say line as in musical line. This is typically written out with 4 measures per line of music you see. To make sure I had room for all of the notes here, though, I did put just 2 measures per line, so everything's spelled out a little bit more. So, yeah, it's technically 2 lines here, but it's 1 musical line with how it's typically written in pipe music. So from that B, we're heading up to an F. Again, another place for a run or even a cross. If this comes down first, we can get a cross down to that low A. And again, a cross is when something lowers before it lifts, but there's also the potential for a run if the ring finger lifts before the middle finger for that F. And to be honest, you can get both, which actually sounds kind of cool, but not what we're looking for here. So make sure we get that middle finger up first on the top before anything else lifts. So let's make sure we're leading with that middle finger on the way up and not lowering that bottom ring finger too soon to avoid the run and the cross. And then down to another E doubling from F. We already talked about how to do that. So pointer up, both down, middle finger to separate, then down to a C, again avoiding that cross as we spoke about before on this note change. And then here we have the low G catch to A, sometimes called just a low G grace note, though again spelled out in a slower, easier to see way. We're going to go C, down to low G, both down smartly together, lifting to the A. So let's try everything we've done so far, the first line of the Green Hills at 92, but 4 times slower. If you're interested in getting the rest of this tune spelled out as thoroughly as this first line here, go check out the link you see right here on screen and in the link below to purchase your full classic breakdown. That will include a full PDF of the entire tune in 12/4, 6/4, 3/4 spelled out and 3/4 as normally written, as well as 10 play-along MP3 files, of which we'll hear a bit of one now. And these MP3 files are in 2 different pitches: B flat, that of most standard practice chanters, and A for some new modern, like the twist trap practice pipes or chanter. Those are in A, so you can find the MP3 that best suits your chanter. And they're at multiple speeds, so you can also slowly work up through the MP3s till you get this tune to full speed and clean. And if you wanted access to all of the Classic Series PDFs and MP3 files, consider joining my Patreon at the Thistle level. All Thistle level and above patrons have access to all of the Classic Series breakdown materials. That includes Scott and the Brave, the Rowan Tree, Wings, and now Green Hills. But there's going to be a ton of these moving forward. I have no plans to stop. This has been a very popular series, and folks are really enjoying this. So I have no reason to stop, so there's going to be, at some point, dozens and dozens of these tunes as I continue to build the repertoire. So consider joining the Patreon at a Thistle level or above to have access to all of them. Let's move on now to the tune at half speed. We can see now that the sounding tones within our ornaments are now written as 16th notes, so they're getting quite a bit quicker, a 16th note being just 1/4 of the beat. But it's still slower than it'll be, obviously, at full speed. Let's try this first line at half speed, though I am moving the metronome down to 76 to give us a little bit more time to hear everything. It's still going to be noticeably faster than the quarter speed version, but we're at 76, and again, these are just examples of how to play along with this. If that's too fast, slow it down or stay at the 1/4 speed. Don't worry about moving on to the next speed level until you can play your current speed level cleanly and accurately. Starting to sound much more like the classic Green Hills we know when played at half speed than that quarter speed. Now let's try the tune at full speed. You'll see for full speed we have 2 versions. We have the embellishments spelled out, and then we have as normally written. These are played exactly the same, so I'm not going to do this twice. Feel free to replay this section with one or the other while you're looking at it, because they're played the same. This is how the music would look if we were actually spelling out the ornaments with the proper time. To my eyes, maybe I've been piping too long. The normally written version is easier to read and cleaner, but a lot of that is because I understand over 27 years of playing now where the ornaments take their time from. If we look down here, it's not immediately obvious where that grip is taking its time from. But if we look at the spelled out version, just above it, we can see that the B actually is shortened and the G's are taking away from the B, the G's in that grip, not the C. The C remains a quarter note that we're holding the entire time. I'm going to move the metronome down to 70, and we're going to try it at full speed, 70 beats per minute. So again, that's line 1 of the Green Hills. If you wanted access to the entire tune spelled out like this with play-along MP3 files, consider purchasing the individual tune from the link you see here, or head over to the Patreon and join at the Thistle level. For those that have stuck around this far, I also want to mention this is how 3/4 are typically written in Scottish piping music, with the A falling on the 1. To be a little pedantic, with this, the A and the B are technically beat 3, with the 1, the downbeat being the C. It really should be 3-1. I thought about writing it that way here because it is more accurate. However, that's not how you're going to run into it in the wild. If we were really counting this correctly, when we played this in a pipe band setting, we would strike in and only hold the initial E for 1 count before dropping down to that A. E bum ba dum da do dum bum bum, which would put us on the correct foot while we're marching. 3/4s are always a little bit hard to march to because we're actually on the wrong foot. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. This is how it's written. This is how you're going to run into it. But for those that might feel that we're not quite on the correct beat, you're not wrong. It really should have an anacrusis. Those first two notes should be a set of pickup notes going to a 1 on that C. We're just not going to count it that way. It's fine. It's how we go about playing it, but I did want to bring that up for anyone who's paying attention. Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you got something out of the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. And a huge shout out to my Patreon members. If it wasn't for you guys, this channel, well, wouldn't be possible. These videos don't make themselves, and the support means more than you know. You'll see names now, folks, scrolling up. They support the channel on a monthly basis. I'd love to add your name to this list. If you join at the Thistle level or above, you have access to the entire Classic Breakdown series, all of the materials for the full tunes with that. But any support at any level helps, and it's appreciated. I also give Skype and online lessons. Go ahead and head over to www.commandyourbagpipe.com or email me at the address you see here, and we'll get you going. I'm working with folks from all over the planet, and I hope to work with you soon. I also have a line of Command Your Bagpipe merchandise, like this lovely hoodie I have on right here, as well as the prescription bagpipe line, like this rather comical mug I have here that lets the world know that you have a prescription for your bagpipe addiction. We also have the Highland Bagpipe ornament tree graphic right here. That's available as both a poster and a wrapped canvas as shown here, so check that out. Let the world know that you command your bagpipe. Well, thank you again so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Matt Willis. Cheers.